Institute for Space Opera Research presents Pisor Scares 2012.
Yes?
Drugstore.
Miss Judy! Backy!
It's a charge. Take it, Pop.
The word lycanthropy is defined as a human being having the power of becoming a wolf, or of having the power of turning another human into a wolf. Some say lycanthropy stems from nothing but myth and superstition. Yet the belief that a human can turn into a wolf has persisted since the Dark Ages to this very day. It is a universal belief. The ancient Romans and Greeks wrote of the phenomenon. There are tales of such happenings in Borneo, Turkey, South America, everywhere. The American Navajo Indians and other tribes tell stories about wolfmen. The legends have persisted from the beginnings of man's memory of time. Why? Why haven't these tales died? The tales that say wolfmen roam the earth.
Our man? The newspaper says they found an animal's teeth marks in a dead man's throat. Morgan, what have you done?
Accomplished is a better word, Emery. Someday it will happen. The human race will destroy itself. Not quickly, but slowly. That Wolfman is the proof. Radiation creates mutants, people who become monsters no longer human. They'll make the hydrogen bomb more powerful, then more powerful again. Enough to change every person on the face of the earth into a crawling inhuman thing through fallout radiation.
You really believe it'll happen in our lifetime?
Science of destruction always gains on us, Emery. Could happen tomorrow, next day, next week. I don't know. But it won't happen to us.
Those kids coming around. Last year they played tricks. Last year they soaked my windows. They put toilet paper in my trees.
That's because you didn't give them any Halloween candy.
They have no right to expect any candy.
But Mother always gave them Halloween candy.
Your mother's dead. I'm not your mother. Not giving candy to kids is a reward for ringing my doorbell.
Everybody in this street gives out Halloween candy. The kids expect it. I remember one year, Mrs. Clausen, she didn't give out any candy. We sheared her poodle. I cut the end of her garden hose off myself. She was a mean old woman. She was meaner than you are, Dad.
Mrs. Clausen's dead. Makes me the meanest on the block.
Gobbleknoll. There was a hill that ate people. The rabbit's grandmother told him never to go near it. So the rabbit went to the hill and shouted, "Gobbleknoll, swallow me! Come, devour me!" But Gobbleknoll knew the rabbit and took no notice. Later that day, a group of travelers came by looking for a place to shelter from the rain, and Gobbleknoll opened his green and ferny lips, and the travelers thought that they had found a cave. They went in, and the rabbit slipped close behind them. But the hill felt hairy pads on his tunnels, and before the rabbit could reach the middle, Gobbleknoll threw him out, and the grass shut. The rabbit went and hid behind a tree, and a few days later a hunting party arrived at the hill just before night, and Gobbleknoll opened again. This time the rabbit used magic art and took the shape of a man, except for his ears, which he tucked down his shirt, so that they would not brush against the roof and make Gobbleknoll sneeze. He went down long and horrid passages until he came to the hill's stomach, and there were the remains of all the victims, and some who were not yet dead. "Hey, hey, hey!" shouted the rabbit. "Why don't you eat? You leave the best. Here's a delicious heart. What's wrong with that?" Gobbleknoll set up a dismal howling, for it was his own heart that the rabbit had seen. And the rabbit knew this and took out a knife and stabbed the hill dead. The ground split, and the blue sky lit the deep hollows, and the living came out and wept before the rabbit, and wanted to give him power and riches. But all the rabbit would take was Gobbleknoll's fat, and he went home with it on his back, and he and his grandmother were fit to burst from it for many a day.
You are listening to the most massive carnivorous ground beast in the world. Over 2,000 pounds and 18 feet of gut-crunching, man-eating terror. By its size alone, it can overpower and devour any human. The deadliest jaws on land belong to Grizzly, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
In fact, one way to do it, which wouldn't require demons or higher intelligences to intercede, would be just to take straight words, take 7 or 8 words in a song, and reverse them. And then when you played it backwards, you would hear those words. But when you heard it forwards, what would you hear? You'd hear something backwards. It wouldn't make sense. So when people talk about how backwards masking is done in the studio, yeah, that kind of backwards masking is done in the studio. No problem. That's not what we're talking about.
When you finish, come downstairs. I'm going to have a drink.
Are you all right now?
I'm scared, Father. Please stay with me.
Do you want to come back downstairs with us?
No. I'm tired of being treated like a child.
We're talking about when you hear music and lyrics forward, and then you hear those same lyrics backwards, and it's a message forward, and those same words are a message backwards.
I believe you.
I'm worried. What's happened with Tom?
I think he's been held captive.
Captive?
By Satan, Mephistopheles, Lucifer.
Okay? And we're not talking about one or two words. We're not talking about something like the cat and playing it backwards and trying to get something like tack backwards and something out of the. We're talking about sometimes over 15 words straight. We're talking on Stairway to Heaven right around 30 words.
Yes, sir. The devil. I believe the devil has taken possession of this village.
And we're not only talking about that, we're talking about a song that wasn't engineered to be heard backwards, but came right from the spirit world automatically.
You live entirely on the surface. You don't understand the frailty of mankind.
Oh, don't get angry with me.
I am telling you the truth.
And then we're talking about if you wanted to make lyrics backwards on a song, you're going to mess up that song forward pretty bad, right? Well, Stairway to Heaven is the most popular song in rock and roll.
I'll have a rest. But if you hear me calling, you'll come quickly.
So this destroys any kind of argument that comes against it. And what destroys it more is the lyric forward often has everything to do with the lyric backwards. And to take it even further, you can hear a lot of these same things on live albums backwards. Because it's the demonic spirits using these human beings. Her stairway lies in the whispering wind, dear lady, just like the Led Zeppelin fans, because their power is Satan. They live with Satan. That's who empowers them, and they're following Led Zeppelin. They're really following Satan, because Led Zeppelin were just four puppets. Satan could have used any four and formed Led Zeppelin. It was Satan's music.
Well, did you spell out your theories on the new-looking old religions? Did she buy it?
Yes, there are two paths you can go by. Backwards, they lift up, the demons lift up, because this isn't Led Zeppelin, this is spiritism, and spirits working through Robert Plant. Backwards, they lift up the backwards path, the satanic path. It says backwards, here's to my sweet Satan, I want to live it backwards, like the Zepp, referring to Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant referred to Led Zeppelin as the Zepp over and over again in interviews, and that's how they've been referred to for years. So backwards it says, here's to my sweet Satan, I want to live it backwards, like the Zepp, whose power is Satan, he will give you 666. We said earlier, the whispering path we saw was Satan's path, and then we see her being told, dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? The pipe. And did you know your stairway lies in the whispering wind? I mean, you're going to hell. Now Led Zeppelin at the LA Forum, they tell their fans basically where they're going.
Only one thing can save you now. Father goes aside. He has entered my forbidden chamber.
What's the matter?
He wants Father Roche. He wants me to murder him.
Beyond the limits of mortal fear, outside the realm of imagination, there's a place where every nightmare you've ever had comes true.
The house on Skull Mountain. What is its secret? Who holds its power? When will it strike again? Victor French, Janie Michel, Jean Durand, Mike Evans, and Ella Wood. No one can escape the horror that lives in the house on Skull Mountain.
Always give a thrill. They love those spooky, spooky movies. They love those spooky, spooky movies. My baby love those spooky movies. She said if I look like a King Kong, big and hairy and mean and a strong, said I might have a chance to compete with the picture called a creature from the
This is the beat of a human heart. Sit very still and listen. Is your heart beating in this same rhythm? You are experiencing the heartbeat of a dying man. And it is with death and dying that we concern ourselves. What happens at the point of death? What happens afterwards?
Fear. Fear, there is fear in fear, the name, the blue and green walls, falling of in numbers, fear, the veins, that when they were opened, fear flowed from, and these forms it took, a ring, a bit of grass, green swans down, gliding on fear into fear, and the hatred, and something and everything, and it is my death's disciple, leg and fear, no, he would not have back those lives again, and their fear as he feared, he would say, but he feared more, he did not fear more, he did fear more. Everything, it was there a long time, as I was, and it is within those blue and green walls that the actual verification has, and in fact will, take the form of a ring. Took, I should say, the figure in the hall of the glass giants, the third exhibition on the right is fear, I am I, fear, and the rain falling, fear, red fear, yellow fear, blue and green for their depth, etc., fear, etc., water, fire, earth, air, etc., and everything made of human agency or divine fear is in the answer also, and shall pierce thy bosom too, fear, three gathered together, 4, 5, etc., the brightest day, the longest day, its own fear, the light itself, the 9 village tailors, fear their thread, if not their needles, if not their needles and everything, and it is here, this is New York, and aside from that fear which under another name in every stone Abraham is buried.
I'm now cutting the dura mater. That's the brain's outer covering. There we are. This is the actual lesion. It's a subdural hematoma. Stop the bleeding. Sucker, please, sister. We're now going to secure hemostasis while still under local anesthetic. Clip, please, sister. Good.
But I have to remove your moral gun. Replace it with another one, more suitable for the job at hand. It's distasteful, but I have to remove your moral gun. Replace it with another one, more suitable for the job. It's distasteful, but I have to remove your moral gun. Replace it with another one, more suitable for the job at hand. It's distasteful, but I have to remove your moral gun.
Because you know where all the bodies are buried.
You understand. There's no way to
save me. First you can't help me, now you can't save me.
Go away. Now.
Prince of Darkness, hear me.
They call him Luther the Berserk, but his blood brother is called Lucifer.
I command you to appear.
Their form is human, but they have crossed over. Spawn of the devil, master of black arts.
It's been 50 years since a man looked at me like that. 50 years.
Where the weird rites of the supernatural sensualist defy description. No one is safe.
Chocolate cake every day, remember? Remember? Mr. King, you ice cream. Chocolate cake every day, remember? Remember? Mr. King, you ice cream. Chocolate cake every day, remember? Remember? Remember?
My children. Man. My children. Naughty. Naughty. My children. Man. My children. Naughty. Naughty. I loved her so much. I loved her. Why did she run away? Why did she run away from me? Ice cream. Cake every day, remember? Remember? Helen.
No, Del. I couldn't leave my poor little creatures, could I? I mean, I love them. The vet wouldn't take them back, and no one else would. You know, that's exactly what happened with, Lenny's father. I had to leave him too. After a while, I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand him to touch me. If you love them, you can't just leave them. You have to. If you love them, you can't just leave them. You have to release them. If you love them, you can't just leave them. You have to release them.
Ice cream. Chocolate cake every day, remember? Remember?
If you love them, you can't just leave them.
Remember?
You have to
Ice cream.
release
Cake
them.
every day, remember? Remember?
This is a slime monster. The slime runs out of his mouth. This is the slime monster game, where you slime the other players with the monster.
It's my turn.
And sometimes
I got you.
they slime you. The winner
Look out,
gets the monster. The loser has to clean up.
Oh, yuck.
The Slime Monster game comes complete with Slime Compound, new from Mattel.
In the meantime, if you'll excuse me, I would like something to eat. I've just come from the theater and I haven't had time. Ah, ham. I love it.
You cannibal.
Well, what would you have to eat, Hugo, to make you a cannibal? Sawdust.
Don't I get anything to eat? I'm hungry.
Whoever heard of a ventriloquist dummy eating?
I can eat. I can eat like you can. You are not the only one who likes to eat.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm hungry. I want something to eat. Now.
You surely don't expect me to wait on you.
No. But I do want to eat.
Very well, then. Get up and get it yourself. Don't drink too much, Hugo. It might make the sawdust in your stomach swell. You're a dummy, Hugo. A common puppet. Hugo, put down the knife. I said, put it down.
I'm sure sorry to hear that Max and Samson took off. That's the last straw. Now my circus won't open this year.
That's too bad, Mr. Barnstorm. Tell me, what is this Jinx anyway?
This circus is haunted by a ghost clown.
A ghost clown?
A ghost clown? Yes. When the ghost clown appears in your circus, you might as well quit. Circus folks are superstitious.
Who next? The burgomaster's daughter. Or the school teacher's daughter. Don't remember.
How can you be so sure about the animals?
All right, I'll prove it to you. I'll take you to the circus tonight. Come along, you two.
They're angry and irrational because they're afraid. They can't understand why you defend the circus.
Because the circus is the one thing that keeps people from brooding about death and disease. Well, Helga and Heinrich seem to fly, and the gypsy woman and her animals, well, they play with death, they defy it.
They play no games. They are death.
Works on the infect's nervous system. It drives them mad and they attack one another. I think we're going to see a real revolution in agriculture.
Not even DDT was this effective when it first came out.
DDT causes cancer. How about this?
Now listen, you've been on our backs since last night. Now if you want to go back to nature, why don't you find yourself a nice Pacific atoll somewhere?
All I'd have to worry about then is atomic fallout. Thanks, awfully, old chap.
What's the range of this machine?
Oh, about a mile at present. We're trying to perfect one up to 5 miles. But of course this can't have anything to do with the children, now could it? It's absurd.
Now, Doctor, you're a man of science. Surely you can understand this machine has undergone the most stringent testing. The radiation only affects the most primitive forms of nervous systems like microbes and insects.
It has no effect on more evolved systems, such as human ones. It's completely harmless.
How can you be certain?
Look, do I look like I'm about to attack you? And I'm surrounded by radiation.
Now, it's all right. I understand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Die to give me back my life.
Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house.
Count Dracula. Count Dracula.
I am Dracula.
Count Dracula.
I am Dracula. Enter freely. Enter freely. Your own will. 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 I want blood.
Known through legend in such diverse countries as Greece, Rome, France, India, and even China, he doth fatten upon the blood of the living. He can by such nourishment even grow younger. He throws strange shadows when he walks upon the earth. He can transform himself to dog, to bat, to other kinds of beast. He lives by night, for by day he must conceal himself within his grave. Those upon whom he nourishes himself sicken and die, and then become like him, vampires themselves. His name is Dracula.
Why can't this man be arrested?
You underestimate Count Dracula. What good are laws against someone who can set himself above the law? All around us. Some of us are completely within his power.
Professor, you know so much about the black arts. Suppose you too are Dracula's servant.
I have never met the Count, and yet I feel I know him better than my own soul.
If I am to begin a new life, a new life, learn something of its people from such as yourself. You are my honored guest. Listen to them. The children of the night. What music they make. The children of the night. What music they make. The children of the night. What music they make.
Oh yeah, I tell you something you may not understand, but I'm a thirsty vampire. I want to bite your head, shoot. I want to bite your head. I want to bite your head. Oh please, please don't scream. I know you think it's grand. When I fly in your window, just let me bite your hand. Just let me bite your hand. I want to bite your hand. And when I bite you, I feel happy inside. It's so delicious that my thirst I can't hide. I can't hide. I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something. I think you understand that I feel that something. I want to bite your hand. I want to bite your hand. Sure. I want to bite your hand. And when I bite you, I feel happy here inside. It's so delicious that my thirst I can't hide. I can't hide. I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something. I think you understand. When I feel that something, I want to bite your hand. I want to bite your hand. Sure, I want to bite your hand. I want to bite your hand. Sure.
They have been here since the dawn of time. They're here now, waiting, watching. They've gone unchecked, unnoticed, and now they're monsters.
What's the matter? My hand! Something bit my hand! Are you okay? Let's get the hell out of here.
Would you believe the other day I saw a rat this big?
Are you through?
No, I mean it. He was this big.
Overpopulated, oversized, and hungry.
Your lady friend was absolutely right about the rats. They've gotten into the subway.
The rat population of the world is estimated to be 108 billion. 24 times the human population.
With this torch, I proclaim the triumph of evil over good. This purifying fire burns away all that is false and leaves only the essential of man. Man whose true nature is sensual and erotic. The cleansing fire releases man from his outworn traditions, freeing his true being. This being is permitted to flourish here in this sanctuary, in accordance with his instincts. All forms of sensuality
cruelty and eroticism are practiced to liberate man. This cruel fire which burns so brightly reaches into heaven itself, denying God his right to judge man. Only man can judge himself and say what is good and what is evil. Burn, bright fire. Proclaim that man is triumphant at last as a sensual being, enjoying to the fullest his true nature.
Beauty, isn't it? So small and delicate. It would be a worthy addition to anybody's collection. And all I'm asking for it is £1,000. £1,000? For a human skull? Oh, Mr. Maitland, what do you take me for? Do you think I'd bring you just an ordinary human skull? Do you imagine I'd ask you for £1,000 for a skull of a nobody? £1,000, Mr. Maitland, and cheap at the price. You'll pay it gladly when you know the story.
Marco, I wouldn't pay that price for Napoleon's skull.
I think you'll find the owner of this skull a great deal more interesting. You see before you the skull of Donatien, Alphonse, François, Marquis De Skull.
A harsh humiliation you have then. You will be punished. First, you will be punished here, and then you'll be thrown out into the world. Here is where your refuge lies. Only you must please all. Accept pleasure and return it to all those who so desire, or take the penalties. This woman has disobeyed me. She has chosen to ignore the fundamental law in our society. And so it's my duty to punish her. You will learn your lesson.
You can't insist on such cruelty. It's barbaric.
I order you to whip her.
Impossible. I beg you.
If you obey my order, it'll be proof you love me. If you obey my order, it'll be proof you love me. If you obey my order, it'll be proof you love me.
There is no pain.
No pain.
You are at peace, mind and body at peace entirely.
Yeah.
Then listen to the sound of my voice. Carefully, pain vanished. Mind and body in a state of peace. You understand this, Valdemar?
I understand.
Then sleep. Sleep.
How tall are you?
About 6 feet tall.
All right, how much you weigh?
270,
270, 280. You're a big guy.
Yeah.
Sean is afraid of peaches. Sean, I understand if you don't like peaches, but you're scared of peaches. Scared. Why?
It's been as long as I can remember.
Well, what was it all about?
It's been ever since I was a kid, ever since I was little. It's the feel, the touch, the look, everything.
The feel of a peach?
The fuzzy, whether it's fuzzy or slimy.
Now, can you remember one incident, something go crazy on you about a peach?
A girlfriend of mine had bought shampoo that had a picture on the bottle.
Peach scented shampoo?
Yeah, peach scented. She bought it, and I went into the bathroom, didn't know it was in there, went to take a shower, ran right out the house.
Because there was a picture of a peach?
I made her take the peach. I made her take it off the picture off the bottle.
Can you remember back in your childhood? I mean, somebody hit you over the head with a peach?
No.
You swallow a peach pit or something?
No, it's been just as far back as I can remember. It's just steadily gotten worse and worse as time's gone on.
You want to be cured?
Yes. I want to be able to walk into a store and be able to go down there.
Are you going to kill me if I bring in a peach here?
I don't know. I want to stay back.
Bring in the peach.
The city of the dead. The living dead. A cursed city where the gates of hell have been opened.
Dr. Richards, you mean she's controlling her body through willpower alone?
Our experiments would indicate that there's nothing in the subconscious that cannot be raised to the conscious level.
Nothing, Doctor? What about parapsychology, telepathy? Can that be controlled too?
Yeah. I include that. Extrasensory perception.
Dr. Preston, isn't there a danger that these experiments could interfere with normal brain activity?
No. We've studied many cases like this, found there's no reason for concern at all. If there were, believe me, my wife would not be involved.
No danger. Only discoveries.
Is there any proof of ESP control?
Mrs. Preston here. We believe that we're on the verge of isolating the brainwave pattern that signifies ESP activity.
Now, Judy, tell us what you found.
It starts with a feeling of absolute calm, as if I were drifting into perfect sleep, leaving behind any cares or any fears. It's so beautiful a feeling I could almost cry. And then, way in the distance, I see someone or some place moving closer. It starts with a feeling of absolute calm, as if I were drifting into perfect sleep, leaving behind any cares or fears. Then, way in the distance, I see someone or some place moving closer. Sometimes their voices or even music. And then a funny change takes place. Instead of the images moving closer to me, I feel myself moving closer to them. It's as if I were watching a movie.
No.
Get away. Let me go.
Whose belief is greater now?
Go! Seize him!
Is that your fate?
Don't touch me. I'm a religious object. Don't touch me. I'm a religious object. Don't touch me. I'm a religious object.
Trick or treat.
No. You're not getting any candy. It's too late. Took everything left. I gave it all away. Never had any to begin with. Go away.
Trick or treat.
Go away.
Trick or treat.
Go away. It's almost midnight.
No.
What a joy divine. Too late to be out trick-or-treating. Go home. Tell your mother I said you were a wicked child.
What a blessedness. What a peace is mine.
Trick or treat.
Leaning on the everlasting arm.
Leaning on Jesus. Leaning on Jesus. Safe and secure from all harms. Lean on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms.
Shame on you, Ruby. Mooning around the house after that mad dog of a man. Miss Williams. Ruby, go get the children out of bed and bring them down here. Such German fools.
broken. Damn that kid.
It's a hard world for little things. 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 It's a hard world for little.
Halloween!